Yes, it's the doctor. Doctor Dreame, 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 Dreame. Yeah, the imagination. Well, instead of moving your imagination, I've taken over as a new host of dramatized, fictitious books. Yeah, for Fluma Fictional. She and I had difference of opinion. We weren't sure whether to feature books this big or this large, you know, about that big, that thick. So, anyway, I, viewer, am taking over as the host of Dramatized Fictitious Books. And on this program, like Fluma, I'll be dramatizing parts of different sections of fictitious books by fictitious authors. And, well, I'd like to dramatize one right now entitled Academic Murder. Here it is. And it's by Rare Meat Mudmouth. And I'd like to begin with chapter 3. Let's say page 3. And yeah, paragraph 3, where the main character, Tree Gas Trunk Drivel, is proposing to Groovia Group Hooter. And it reads, Tree Gas, I'm going to turn this music a little bit down here. Yeah, so you people can really hear this thing. Yeah, there we go. Just a little. Yeah. Yeah, we like that, Dr. Dreame. I'm glad you do, viewer. Sort of answering for you, anyway. So it reads, Tree Gas held Groovia's right hand in his hands and asked, don't you believe me when I tell you I love you and want to marry you? Groovia shook her head from side to side, while smiling sweetly and replied, Professor, you're my favorite teacher, and you're really fun in bed. But, you know, I'm engaged to Frostfeet Frozenose. In fact, I've been thinking of late that maybe we shouldn't see each other anymore outside of class. Well, then slowly, she removed her hand from his grasp and stood up. She turned and began walking toward her dormitory. As she continued walking, with her back to him, he pulled out the 341.7 blaster that he always carried for no reason,
and he fired it, causing a gaping hole through her. At that moment, as he ran away, Dreame decided to give up his academic career in exchange for a life of a murderer. I'll now move on to chapter 13, page 33, paragraph 3, where Dreame is in his car, his air car, with a young female hitchhiker named Boxy Robobox. He's picked her up outside a town where he's just had a shootout with the police and army soldiers. You know, very exciting, but I'm skipping all that. And he lands in the desert. And tries putting the make on her. But she rebukes him, and so it reads, this caused him to yell, "Look, if that's the way you feel, get out of this vehicle now." Well, he'd been so nice and friendly up to this point. Boxy was taken aback when he yelled at her. She just sat there, looking wide-eyed at him, with the sad look on her face, and said,
What? But we're out in the middle of the desert. At least 1,000 clicks from civilization. I mean, I'd die out here. You gotta be kidding, right?
well, Dreame began staring out the windshield. Then he calmly pressed a button. This caused Boxy's front passenger's door to fly open. Her seat, as she sat in it, was deposited swiftly into the desert near the air car. As she laid helplessly on the ground, broken bone and bruised, Dreame hit another button, and this shut the air car door, the 748 swoosh. He suddenly felt hungry, as he always did after a murder. He grabbed a slick sock sandwich out of the front fridge compartment. He began to eat it while washing it down with a nice ice-cold Thundercat. As he continued watching Boxy slowly die. Now I'm moving on to chapter 33, page 333, paragraph 3. Dreame is laying on the execution table talking to his lawyer, Fluffia Flakefloat. It reads as follows. Dreame lay helplessly on the execution table as he looked up at Fluffia and said softly,
Fluffia, I really don't think you worked hard enough to win my case. Then, after losing it, I don't think you tried hard enough to win a pardon from the Empress for me.
To which Fluffia quietly answered with a sly smile on her face as she looked down at the helpless man strapped to the demolecular table.
Probably not.
Shortly after their conversation, as Fluffia put on her black faux leather gloves in the outer room, she noticed the lights dimming, caused by the demolecular machine going into operation. As this was happening, the guard captain said slowly to the warden, "Well, there he goes, Warden." As tree gas physically disappeared, the warden responded by saying, "Yes, Captain, he's gone. To think he traded a life of academia for a life of murder." Well, that's all I feel like reading for now. There's not too much left anyway. So, till the next time.